Okay, and all things not conspiracy because clearly we talk about the truth around here and the conspiracies that we've believed in are true because they are. And every single time they are, that little shred of truth that people make fun of over history has exposed and blown up to be more than just true. Like for decades, it's been true. I'm saying that in a very broad way at this point because it's not because I don't believe everything I read on the internet. It's because when somebody says that some high official, high government, secret top tier thing is happening, it's true at this point. It's true. Like I don't know how else to tell you that. So let's read. It says here, press record. It says Tulsi Gabbard releases bombshell video exposing secret U.S. funded biolabs worldwide. We talked about the ticks, right? That goes way further back than just that. Biolabs goes to COVID, goes to all these things like that, right? But not just here. Okay, if we're doing that and all the governments are kind of in cahoots in some single way or some way of how we operate, then other nations are doing the same. Let's read it. It says here, according to the report from CBN News, Tulsi Gabbard, the United States Director of National Intelligence, has released a striking video that sheds light on previously concealed U.S. government-funded biological laboratories operating around the globe. Crazy, around the globe. So you have your tentacles. It's like Hydra from Marvel, right? They have like the squid or the octopus, and then its tentacles is like in some other parts of the world, in this place and that place, as it touches and expands its grasp and its reach and its territory. Um, it says in the video, Gabbard directly confronts what she describes as repeated deception by politicians and health officials during prior admins. She highlights how key figures, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, that guy, and members of the Biden admin national security team allegedly misled the public about the existence and the scopes of these facilities, despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens and biolabs can have. Politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden admin national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of U.S. funded and supported biolabs. Not only did they lie, they threatened those who attempted to expose the truth, she added. Disclosure marks a significant shift in as details regarding the locations, history, and funding of these biolabs have reportedly been suppressed, and they will be like that because I'm sure this doesn't just start with Biden. Okay, I'm not going to put all the blame on them either, but they get full consequences because there's been a start where this has happened and it led up to that admin, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the Trump admin as well in some way, form, or fashion because there are still good people, bunny ears, because no one's good, no, not one, but people who have this moral ethic or this biblical ethic to find, like, hey, to seek out truth and to expose it for what it is, even in parties that so-called maybe not want to do that because they see a benefit to that, or they try to leverage that for their business or their reach or their authority or whatever. It's like a president wanting to go to war because he wants to stay in office later, right? Because he wants more grasp, more reach, more authority, more something, or somebody using a cloak and dagger situation, meaning they present the problem and they have the solution, but it's given on their terms. You have US funded biolab type of situation where they present the problem and the solution to get more money and to build this legacy or this hierarchy or this way of saying so important because they are the means or the salvation to the world kind of situation, right? That's what we do. That's what we do. We do that. We as human beings do that. um it says, okay, foreign critics, it says, funding these biolabs have reportedly been suppressed by influential figures who deny their existence and lab critics as foreign assets or traitors. That's how they're labeled. So you just totally mark them off. Okay, let's watch this quick video here from CBN.
Tulsi Gabbard, the United States Director of National Intelligence, just dropped a bombshell of a video about secret U.S. government funded biolabs around the world. Take a look. Now, despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens in biolabs can have, politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden administration's national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of US funded and supported biolabs. Not only did they lie, they threatened those who attempted to expose the truth. So this release today breaks new ground. as the information surrounding the existence, history, locations, and funding of these US funded biolabs has been intentionally covered up by very powerful people who falsely claimed that these biolabs didn't exist. Now, they accuse anyone who says otherwise to be foreign assets and traitors to America. Now, Odie and I will continue working closely with partners across the US government to identify exactly where these labs are and what pathogens they contain to end dangerous gain of function research that threatens the health and well being of the American people and people around the world. Well, Billy, that was quite the video. What did you think of it?
It's interesting because about a month ago, she had talked about the fact that they were starting to look into this. And obviously, the president had signed in 2025 an executive order on this issue of these biolabs. There's been a lot of back and forth on it, and sort of living in the era of truth confusion, a lot of denial that the US either owned these labs or was operating them in some way. But the idea that the US is purportedly funding these labs abroad, it opens up a lot of questions, obviously, because, and this is why she was looking into this, if you're funding labs that you don't own and fully operate, and they're in other countries, when a war breaks out like what we've seen in Ukraine, and you have dozens of these labs in Ukraine, allegedly, if there are 40 of these labs, let's say, in one country, and that country is in a war with Russia, and Russian troops are coming in and possibly taking over those labs, which was the concern last year when this was being talked about, and probably even previously, I think even back a couple of years ago, then you have to think to yourself, oh my goodness, what is happening now? This gain of function research that deals with, and I'm not a scientist nor am I an expert on this, but that deals with certain illnesses and viruses and manipulating them for different reasons. There are probably very good reasons to do some of this, but also the danger of not having full control over these labs in other countries that you're funding. My goodness, that seems incredibly potentially problematic. So this.
Okay. So we're just gonna end it there. I'm gonna stop the video there. Okay. So you very clearly see what I'm talking about. I remember specifically that Russia was saying that Putin was saying that there are labs in Ukraine that are going to be used and are being used. And the reason why, one of the theories was the reason why America is funding Ukraine so much is because they want to protect what's over there. They want to protect, or maybe Russia was saying they're going to use that against us. Okay. Now, by um, Tulsi's admission, there are very powerful people who are in high places, but we know that these very powerful people that we always talk about always have nefarious reasons. They are never for good. They're always for profit. They're always for something more. We talk about this all the time. We talked about like implants in the brain. We talked about AI type of situation. We talked about miracle cures and things like that. Stuff with Elon, Neuralinks type stuff, right? On the surface level, it seems like it's going to promote the health and the wealth of humanity. But really, the underlying means are so nefarious, so demonic, right? They are based on the foundation of selfishness, on self, in not looking outwards, not selflessness, selfishness, rooted in I want to be like God. I want to be like the Most High. Oh, you Satan, how you were made more beautiful, right? This we're talking about what this is like Ezekiel 8 or Ezekiel 8. Yeah, yeah. Where it talks about the king of Tyre, and the way I read that is that he's describing Satan, and you have been thrown down. You're trying to be like the Most High. You cannot be like me. You see what I'm saying? There's this sense of these people are doing things that are trying to be like God, and in that sense, there's a control. There is a bend the knee and bow. I don't know what stems that. I don't know. It's for sure our wickedness, for sure. And I can't even understand the depth and the depravity of our weakness, of our excuse me, our wickedness, our wretched heart, our sin nature. Because it's hard for me to even understand the goodness of God apart from the Spirit. I cannot understand it, and even with the Spirit, I'm still dumbfounded by it because of the never ending well of how deep that goes. I'll never reach the bottom of how good and holy God is. So, in likewise, I can't understand how deep and depraved we really are. He said it right there. He said that if you're funding that, then I wonder why you're funding Ukraine or you're funding something else, because you have secret labs that are over there that you're using for what? For what? To spark a 2020 scare and do a gain of function research and then have labs try to build vaccines for it and then try to have 75-year plea deals or something like that where or 75-year deals like Pfizer to not release this information so you're long and dead. Do you see what I'm saying? How cloak and dagger that is. Problem, solution. But as long as you can continue to do that, you're staying in power, right? Brother, this is disgusting. This is demonic. This is satanic. This is a work of Antichrist. This is a work of demons. This is a work of the sons of disobedience. This is a work of him. 1000%, and it is bad. And that's just those are things that have been happening. That just didn't pop up 4 years ago when 2020 started. That didn't pop up in the Biden admin. That popped up way even before that, and before that, and before that. And you see how deep that goes, brother. There is the as great as plain Jane as I can say it. The U.S. is probably more wicked than we think. Home of the land, home of the free. Goodness gracious, I can't think of it. Land of the free, home of the brave, right? Um, uh, and so it's like, yeah, we have this pillar and this shining beacon on the outside, but we are dead man's bones on the inside. Was that sound like Pharisees? Sounds like, and not because there's not great things about the U.S. I got a feather stuck in my sock. Um, and there's not good things about other places and people, right? But this is very, very much biblical, where it says that if that's the case, then what are they talking about with supernatural entities and aliens? They're talking about reptilians. They're talking about Nordics, the Greys, the I forgot what else there are. They're talking about Men in Black. They're talking about black budgets. They're talking about Project Bluebeam, but they're also talking about like anti-gravity type stuff. You're wondering why people are popping up again and disappearing when they're working for secret, top tier, secret jet propulsion type stuff facilities of NASA, and then they're all dead, right, brother? This is real. And this is what the Bible talks about. Romans 1 highly, right? That's one of my favorite and most like sobering chapters of scripture. It's very, very clear that even in our own actions, right? They have a form of godliness, but denying their power, right? Denying his power. For such people turn away. That's not Romans 1. What is it? Or is it? I forgot. Um, Talking about like how deep and wicked we are, and the grace of God becomes less and less and less in their lives because they harden their heart to the existence of God. Even though they know he's real, they deny him. They reject him. They reject the truth of God's word. They reject God. They've become full on anti-Christ, full on like I can't comprehend it. And I'm not even saying that I'm good, because I'm not good. Romans 3 says no one is good. No one is good. No, not one. No one understands. No one even seeks after God. That's what God says. Not even you, believer. Because the only way that our hearts are able to is if we are assisted by the Holy Spirit, who is good. And if he is always good and lives inside of us, then he's the one that's going to bring up these things and convict us of our sin, because we won't be convicted of it in the first place. Like, oh yeah, we have free will. I get that, we have free will, but we have free will. We know what freely we do. We freely choose to not do the right thing a lot of the times. We like to do let's not say the God thing. We like to do our thing. And though our things may line up with what the Lord it says is good, we're not thinking of that. We're just thinking of it from a perspective of we think is good. This is good. It's all subjective. And it's like, okay, and that's what's happening. There's no objective morality to somebody that sits in this power, this position, because it's all in rebellion. Brother, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Like, everything I'm telling you, the next conspiracy that you hear, it's probably true, bro. And you should probably lean on the side of like the truth versus the side of like not truth and dig into it. And that's what I've been doing this whole time. And I've gotten heat for it. And I've just been like, I have peace about it because I know it's going to show itself out. And more of these things have fleshed themselves out faster. They're not taking decades, they're taking months, not even years anymore, months for them to come out. And it's like you can't keep hiding it. And that is because the Lord is shining a light on that. And I believe that's also because the prophetic timeline, end times, and leading up to the Lord's return. This stuff is crazy, bro. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. If you have any articles like this and you want me to go over that I haven't found myself, or any websites that you visit for stuff like that, please send them my way. Drop it in the comments below. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel. Thank you so much for, I think I'm at like 1,400 subscribers. I haven't been making videos as of lately because I have my mother-in-law here. She's down for a couple of months. She's staying in my guest bedroom. I have a house full of people. My wife, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, everybody's here. So I don't really have a space to record. And when they're out, when everybody's like out of the house for a little bit, I'll try to make a video now, right now. Also, the Lord has provided me a job. I've got a brand spanking new job. Um, I was unemployed for 20 days, and in 20 days, the Lord provided something for me that not only was an actual promotion for me in terms of a title, it was a raise as well. Um, and I am still floored by it. I'm still in almost disbelief. And the way the Lord has come through for me over these past 20 days with just being let go and seeing one door shut and another door open, and just for the first time in my life, not even kidding, at 37 years old, I just was 37 on the May 10th. In 12 days from May 10th to May 22nd, I was laid off. Um, that I've had so much peace about it, and I've forced myself to believe that the God of the universe is going to help my measly little itty bitty ask in uncomfortable situation that is not even a drop in a bucket to what he can do. Not even a thought, not even a conversation, because he's so good. He just does it, that he paid attention to my situation and he worked it out for my good and his glory. And I am still floored by it, because what I think is a big dollar amount for what I need to support my family, to support my bills, to take care of my wife and my son, and to be the head of my household and where I'm at in my life. Um, he can just give, and not even a, it's just like, it's like a penny, not even a penny to him. It's not even half a penny. It's just not even anything to him. It's not. And he has provided. So, um, I start July 6th. I'm super excited about that. I've got about 3 weeks vacation now, like actual vacation. I don't have to apply for jobs or do anything like that. My mother-in-law's in town. She had shoulder surgery, so we've been taking care of her as of this week. She got that, so that's when I kind of stopped making videos, because she had that and I wasn't able to record in a quiet space. And so we've been taking care of her, and I've just had a full household. So what is it? Those aren't excuses. Those are just real life things where I'm like, I don't have a video to make right now, and if I do, it's going to be made in the car. So I'll probably make my videos in the car for the time being. Anyways, guys, I love you. Thank you so much for just supporting me and allowing me to have any part of your day. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next one.